Welcome to Life Fit with DVD. Welcome back. Thanks for being here. So, today I wanted to talk about the importance of cleaning house. And I don't just mean that in your physical space, but also your mental space and your digital space. All of the areas that you tend to accumulate either information, belongings, clutter, all sorts of things that aren't necessarily a priority in your life, but you're storing them somewhere, or you just have them out there, and they might be getting in your way more than you actually think. So this started for me when I had received an email earlier today that my Evernote, which is a journaling tool, or used to be, right? It's still a journaling tool primarily, but my Evernote subscription for cloud storage, all their functionality, and all of that would be basically doubling in price, up 30, well, probably 40% from what it was last year for a yearly subscription. And I had seen that, I did a little research, and I had seen a lot of other people were jumping ship last year and moving on to other platforms, and you can do a basic search if you're having the same problem and want to look for something else. So I don't have an alternative to that yet, but it got me thinking about how what I actually need in terms of my Evernote. What do I use it for? That's going to be different for everybody, but I've been using it for probably a decade now, and I've just been mostly using it for journaling and clipping things off of the web so that I could store them, catalog them, and really just kind of filter them for later if I want to go back and do some research. But typically, I haven't done that a whole lot. I don't really use it for that much outside of journaling. I don't go back and review things very often because it's just as easy to just look it up again. Sometimes it's hard to find things, and I can go back and see, oh, has this been removed from the internet? But most of all, I'm just writing in it. And with all of this increase in the price, they are making all these claims. They're going to integrate AI into it, new tools, and ultimately, I'm just like, get this out of here. I don't want this. I don't want all of this extra functionality. Yet they're making you pay for it. So I'm going to end my subscription. Enough is enough. I don't need it. And I don't necessarily want it either. And I think when it comes to thinking about this, it got me realizing how cluttered my digital space has gotten, just not in just the tools, but also what I have on there. Because I have clipped all of these web notes, and it's almost like a digital form of hoarding in a sense. That I'm like, oh, I can review it later, but I'd say less than 1% of things I go back and actually review. So to that end, I really started to go through everything, and not just my journal, but really just starting with my tabs on my browsers that I have. I use it typically for ideas and almost a to-do list, but I realize that this is not a very effective way for me to navigate these things as well. I keep too many ideas open, and there's too many things that are literally just kind of sitting out there, and it's like with your actual laptop, if you have it on your screen, it's taking up memory, it's taking up space for your RAM and your hard drive, and even for storage space as well. So I started to clear out all of these different tabs, particularly on my phone browser, and it was incredibly satisfying to just junk all of these things that where I had a thought, I investigated it, it was completed, the task was over, and I got rid of it. I just got rid of the tab. No reason to save it. If I need it, I can look it up again. But after doing this, it made me realize just how much better I think when I clear all of this stuff down. So there's a lot of positive reasons to clean house in your digital space, your mental space, your physical space, and ultimately that starts with enhanced performance, right? When you clear out all of these different things that are kind of just sitting out there, it results in you being able to focus on the things that actually matter in the present moment instead of constantly referring to all of the tabs that are kind of past thoughts or open ideas that you don't really know what to do with. It clears them out and it allows you to stay in the moment and focus on the things that matter to you today in this moment. And sure, it might be good for a to-do list to get things done if you open a tab or whatever, but then get that thing done, right? And then remove it. Open ideas, if there's tabs open that you haven't acted upon in a few days, then get rid of it, right? Obviously, I'm guilty of this, and I'm constantly striving myself to, be better and to clear these things out. Remove the things that do not matter. Ultimately, this works in more of a physical sense, but the more that you can clean out and clear space, ultimately the better security you're going to have as well, because you're focusing on the right things. You know what needs to be there and what isn't. This improves data management as well. Once again, priorities. What are the things that matter for the tasks today and the tasks going forward? The more that you have cleaned out of your physical space, in a room or whatever, you then can better decide what actually belongs there and what needs to be there. And ultimately, when you are able to clear out all of this, it leads to better long-term data preservation, so the things that do matter, and improving your well-being. In the sense where you feel so much better because you feel like you cleaned out a bunch of junk, and it's lighter, not just on your physical being, but also on your soul as well, because it feels like you don't need to worry about it anymore. And you might have a feeling of, oh, like, should I be throwing this out? Should I file this away somewhere, and kind of hemming and hawing about, if it's necessary. Well, ultimately, what I find is that, you know, 99% of the time, you don't actually need it. You will never revisit that thing again. And it's solely for the part of you that is holding on to something that really, will either come back again organically and find its way into your consciousness, or really, it is something important. But once again, it's most likely not. 1% of the time, I'd say I go back and really wish, like, oh, what was that thing I wanted? You can find it again. And if you haven't looked at it, if you haven't dealt with it, then once again, it's probably not important. So these are just a few reminders to anybody watching the importance of cleaning your space and why it's important. And so please, if you enjoyed this, like and subscribe. It would mean a tremendous amount to me. Let me know what you like to clean to organize your mental well-being and your space. Are there things that kind of pop up and you need to clear out? What are those? It'd be interesting to hear. But until next time, thanks for being here, and see you later.